Hi everyone, welcome to Parental Alienation is Child Abuse Unfiltered. Thank you all for being here today and welcome to all the new subscribers. I thank you all and appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for being here. Today I'm going to do a chat on something that's probably going to be a bit of a hard subject to talk about, but it's important to talk about it. It's about the children left behind. The kids that haven't had a say in whether their mother or father are a part of their lives. These mother or fathers choose to abandon these children and move away and basically forget them. We're going to talk about how this affects the children. I too was left behind when I was 10 years old, so I feel I'm qualified to talk about this as well, about how my feelings were having been left with a family that I didn't even know. And this family didn't turn out to be the most supportive or loving or caring family, as my past videos would tell you if you look back on them. I do have them. They are quite hard to watch. They do have trigger warnings because they are quite raw. They're very raw. I'll discuss my feelings and how this affected me in my upbringing. But also I've been witness to other children that have been abandoned by their parents. I've known a 15-year-old that was left by her mother, which I've discussed in one of my other videos before, who was had got a boyfriend and her mother didn't like that and kicked her out. But then the mother moved over the other side of the country and left the children behind. Well, left the child behind. She took the other one with her. How do you think that child felt? Pretty devastated, I would imagine. I've also been dealing with a 5-year-old. This one crushes my heart. Because she's 5 and got abandoned. Her mother chose herself over her child and again moved to the other side of the country and left the child. Now, I'm in close contact with this child. And it breaks my heart, the things this little girl says. When you have a conversation with her on her birthday, and all she would repeat is that her mum got on a plane and she's not coming back. This little girl repeated this to me in the course of a 5-minute conversation about 15 to 20 times. And try to divert the conversation away. Well, do you get to talk to Mummy on the phone? No, Mummy's working. Do you talk to your brother and sister on the phone? Because this lady took the other 2 children, her brother and sister as well. No, they're at school. This 5-year-old has no contact with her mother, her brother or her sister. And it was her birthday. My heart was crushed for this little girl. And I didn't know what to say to her. How do you explain that your mother doesn't care? You can't say that to a child. You can't. Even though you know that it's true, you can't say that because that will crush that child. They don't understand that or the concept that goes with that. These are the real effects of parenting. These are the real effect of a parent not wanting to be in a child's life. These kids are left with so many questions. And as I've stated in my other videos, these children often blame themselves when there's a relationship breakdown with mum and dad. Whether mum moves out or whether it's dad that moves out the house. 9 times out of 10, these children blame themselves, particularly if they're little kids, particularly if they're classed as a little bit more active than normal kids or a little bit naughty but they're not naughty kids because they're not. There's no such thing as a naughty child. It's just bad parenting. But yeah, this little girl, it crushed me. It really crushed me. She's 5. And in my head, it blows my mind that a mother could leave a child, especially a young child. And this same mother did it to another child when she was 1. Like, why on earth are you having a child if you're not going to be part of that child's life? You want to call yourself a mother? You have a child and you leave that child? You leave that child with someone you know isn't the best qualified person to raise a child by themselves? You're a selfish bitch. That's all I've got to say. What a selfish person does that to a child. It's heartbreaking. I know how crushing this is. I was left at the age of 10. I went to school one day. I came home and my mother was gone. I didn't know these people I was left with. This little girl's fortunate enough she knows who she's with, but she hasn't got her mother or her brother or her sister. It's selfish. The mother that left the 15-year-old simply because she got a boyfriend. This mother wasn't the best mother either. She has history. And then choose to abandon her parenting rights or her parenting to a child that she gave birth to, and just to leave them. These kids grow up feeling they're not good enough. They were not loved. They're not wanted. They have so many issues dealing with that because they're kids. They don't understand adult issues. I find it, like I said, mind-blowing, particularly a mother, because you carry that child in you for 9 months. You nurture that baby, you feed that baby. And how do you walk away from that child with a clear conscience? How do you do that? These kids are going to remember this. When you're old, and we all get old, when you get old, it's going to come back and bite you, because your daughter will not want anything to do with you at the time when you probably will need them to look after you. They will turn their back on you like you turn your back on them. And it's deserved. Why should you be, mollycoddled or feel sorry for? You were the one that walked away. You moved to this other side of the country so you couldn't even be involved in your child's life. Can't even pick up a phone and make a phone call. Like, it just blows my mind. It blows my mind. And these kids are left with their scars that go through their adult life, wondering why they have trust issues with people. As I stated when I first started this channel, if you can't trust your parents, how do you get to trust the rest of the world? You can't. If your own parents can't be trusted, they're not going to be there for you when you need them. They walk away. They just leave you. It was 12 years before I got to see my mother again. And I know part of that wasn't her choice. I do know the reasons why my mother left me, which is in past videos, again with a trigger warning because it is quite triggering. These are things that people don't see, that even many years after the fact, the scars are still there. The scars are still real. The emptiness that you carry with you all them years, it's still there. I think I always come back to the same thing about don't rush out and have a kid. Don't have a kid if you plan on leaving it. What a horrible thing to do to a little kid, to walk away. and then not be really part of their lives. And I'm sure that she does get to talk to her mother and her father, not her father, her siblings, off and on. But this day when she spoke to me on her birthday, she hadn't, and she'd made excuses for them. But she just kept repeating those words. Her mum was getting on a plane and she's coming back. But no, she's not now. She's got on a plane and Mum's not coming back. Mum's not coming back. 5 years old. It crushed me. As a mother myself, I would never leave my kids. My kids always came first. Always have and always will. I mean, my kids are grown up now, so it's different. But when they were little, their happiness and well-being was always front and centre. I limited what they were exposed to and the things I was dealing with, and made sure my kids were happy. It is a choice. I believe it's a choice. Just because you have a shitty childhood yourself doesn't mean to say that you have to repeat that circle. You've got the opportunity to make change, to break that chain. I broke the chain. I made sure my children's happiness and childhood wasn't anywhere near like mine was. As for the children left behind, they need a lot of understanding, because the thoughts and things that go through their little heads when mum or dad decides not to be a part of their life, that travels with them all their life, with all the questions of what did I do wrong? Why wasn't I loved? Why didn't they think I was important enough to want to be around or be part of my life? What could I have done differently to make them want to stay? As for a 5-year-old, like, when I was having the conversation with her, she was chatty and happy. I fell apart after I got off the phone to her because, like I said, it crushed my heart. Just the fact she was repeating it and repeating it and repeating it, although she didn't show it, it was crushing her heart. So some kids can fall into deep depression and be quiet and don't want to mingle with people. Some kids are like that. Other kids are more hyped up and exert their energy elsewhere. These are the ones that sometimes get labelled as naughty kids. So I think if you are with somebody and you've had a child and your relationship's not working out and you feel like you need to go your separate ways, please, both of you, think about the child you created and how your relationship with that child will go from here on forth. Because that child will want you in their life, regardless of what the situation is with the mother or the father. That child deserves both parents in their life unless there's a reason, a proven reason, why they shouldn't be in there. And if there's a reason that you have to move out of state, which I find is a cop-out, because who wants to move that far away from their child? If you have to do that for whatever reason it could be, pick up the phone. Doesn't take 5 minutes. Get out of bed in the morning, pick up the phone, make a phone call. Chances are probably hungover from the night before because like a drink. That's not the kid's fault. Anyway, I'm going to leave this one here today. Like I said, this one gets it's a bit raw again. It's emotional. Again, these are the scars and the damage that most times narcissistic people don't recognise or don't believe will exist. But I'm here to say that, again, you might forget, but the kids remember everything. And one day the tables will turn and their questions will be answered, and then see how you like it then. Anyway, I thank everybody for being here. If you haven't already liked and subscribed, I'd welcome you to do so. I see a lot of people see my videos, but not so many people subscribe. If you're interested in this subject and you have an interest in the well-being of children in the future and how to help a child in the future that could be dealing with parent alienation, hit that subscribe button, that little ding-dong bell thing. I'm not going to stop. These kids needs a voice, and they got me. Just before I go, I would just like to tell you something that is a common theme with people who leave their kids behind. It's usually because, I couldn't deal with him, or he was horrible to live with, or I couldn't live with her, she was terrible to live with. Yet they leave the child there and expect the child to live there. Yeah. Anyway, guys, again, thank you for being here, and I'll catch you in my next one. Take care.